And in today's makeup look, I'll be using this as the main product. Not even eyeshadow, but this kind of eye pencil, Avon Ultra Color Eye Pencil. Let's start with the eye makeup. Right now, I'll prep this area and we'll do the face makeup later afterwards. I'm starting by working on this area. I'm going to use this Catrice Camouflage Concealer and apply it around the under eye area. On the eyelids as well, so that later the eyeshadow and other makeup products will show their full pigment. If we don't prep the eyelids and then try to draw something with dry eyeshadow, expect the pigmentation to be very low. The eyeshadow won't show its true color as it could, which I often see in long-lasting makeup looks. In my work, I use both concealer and then also liquid eyeshadow as a base. When you need to blend upwards here, the brush handle should also be pointing upwards accordingly. This tip of the brush should also be facing upwards. Let's move on to the pencil. So, I apply it to the inner corner of the eye. I will apply a little at a time and blend it out right away. Now let's move on to the outer corner of the eyes. First, I will apply the pencil to this area. Then I will blend it up onto the crease. And just a little bit here diagonally. Do the same thing a bit on the lower eyelid. You see, I left the main color intensity right here. I didn't touch it much. Bring it out right here. It's already a faded shade, almost just what's left on the brush. Now we'll leave the pencil alone for now. And let's move on to a shade like this, matching the skin tone. I've already hit pan here actually, but it's obvious this is the most used one. Right here, just like this. And we need to do the same thing on the lower eyelid. For the center of the mobile upper eyelid, I'll take a very light shade. For now, I'll also use this small brush and go over it. Right here in the center of the mobile eyelid. Right here in the middle, where we don't have any pencil. Take either a dark brown pencil or a black one. Decide for yourself based on your own appearance. Try to apply it right between the lashes. If you need to blend this pencil, you need to take a very small brush, preferably with dense bristles. Look, something like this, very tiny. A tiny brush with very dense bristles. And when blending, it's also important in this makeup to work very well on the inner corner of the eye. Now we work on the outer corner of the eye in exactly the same way, right along the lash line, just a little bit along the lash growth line. And as soon as you apply the pencil, immediately blend it out so that there isn't just a black line left. Next, we need to apply some shimmer to the center of the upper movable eyelid and the lower one. I ask you, please don't judge the makeup yet, it's not finished. Such bold makeup always looks very strange during the intermediate stages. See, the makeup immediately looks completely different. And this is just the very beginning of applying the glitter. Right now, we'll add a little mascara and some lashes, and it'll look amazing even before we glue on the clusters. And first, thoroughly coat your own lashes with mascara. I'll literally glue on just a couple of clusters. Let's take them. Now, you need to grab the lash cluster with the flat edge of the tweezers, then place it on your hand and pick it up in a way that's comfortable for you. Now we need to dip the base a little into the glue, blow on it a bit so it dries slightly, and then we can apply it. So I've glued on a couple of lash clusters, just a few, and now we're moving on to the spiky lashes. These lashes, the spiky ones, really do look beautiful, of course. Now I'll do the second eye. Just give me 5 seconds and I'll be right back to you. Alright, my second eye is done. Today, instead of foundation, I'm going to use this product. It's this cushion from Tier. And for now, I'll even out only one half of my face. Next, let's go over the brows with some brow gel. I'm using this gel from L'Oreal, just like this, all over the brows. First, we'll brush against the direction of hair growth, then with the growth and shape them. Let's use a sculptor from Essence. So look, what else do I usually do for my clients in these situations? I'm going to deepen and darken the hollows of the cheeks just a little bit. That's it, so it's much more visible, because you know it really looks quite sexy when they are defined. It stands out. Later, we'll also add some highlighter on top and it'll look just gorgeous. Now I'll use these beautiful blushes from Essence Baby Got Blush. It looks very pink in the packaging, but on the face it's not that pink. Yes, you can see the pink, but it becomes a softer, more delicate pink. I also have this one from Sheglem, these liquid blushes. They're a new release from them. I add them in. They're really a brownish red terracotta shade, I'd say. I just add a little bit here. And then after that, I just put a single tiny dot right there. You see, just to add a little bit of extra brightness. If you also happen to have some really bright blush shades available, I just personally like it when the blush is looking really vibrant and colorful. Like this, or like this, or maybe like this, or like that. So if you're making your eyes or lips really bold, keep in mind that you also need to work well on the rest of your face. Now I'm going to do the other half of my face and I'll be right back. And here I am, back with you. We have just a little bit left to finish up the brows right now. And then we will immediately move on to the lips, which is the very final step in our entire makeup routine today. For this part, I am going to use this beautiful 3D Hydra Lip Gloss from Kiko Milano, specifically in the lovely shade 32. It has a slight shimmer to it, and it's a pinkish brown shade, a very pleasant color. So tell me, what do you think about this? Now let's do the hairstyle together. Here's that very wet look effect. We'll pin up these unnecessary top strands. We'll deal with them a bit later. We'll leave just this section. First, we'll brush it out thoroughly. It's important to use heat protection. We'll curl this side with a flat iron and the other side with a curling iron, and the effect will be more or less the same. We take it and do it like this, not all the way through. We twist it. Look, see how much I've tilted it. Here. With this ribbed part between the two plates, this distance, so you can see it in the mirror. Then to the other side, once. Pulled it through, then again to this side. Pulled it through again. Make sure the strand doesn't slip off the plate, because it can move out of place. Bring it back here, especially at the roots. It heats up better there. The ends are thinner, so you can hold the flat iron there for less time. But for guys, hair is always a bit thicker, so you need to hold it a bit longer. Now we need to take a little liquid hairspray. I have one from Schwarzkopf. But keep in mind, if you use a dry hairspray, you can brush it out, but this one has a stronger hold and is harder to brush out. So if you did something wrong, it's better, while the hairspray hasn't fully set yet. If you see any frizz, it's best to brush it out right away. Well, I've finished curling. And now we move on to styling. All this mess on the head. Here's this little cream. We'll use it to tame things a bit. It helps with the little frizz we have. We go over it like this for a wet effect. First we'll need some water and then we'll add this one. Look, here's a very shiny goo, so we really need to scrunch it in, girls. Scrunch, scrunch, and scrunch the hair. Just like this. Now, it essentially already appears to have a very realistic wet effect. Now we take our gel. I think I'll add just a little bit more detail right here, along the side of the face. I'll just go over it like this. Basically from here you can just play around however you like. Give them some shape, a little fringe, tuck something away here, let a strand out there. Whatever you like. Wherever you like. Now I'll add some accessories and show you the final look. So this is the look I ended up with today. Personally, I'm absolutely thrilled because I very rarely go out like this. When you're a mom, you just don't have time for these kinds of looks. But sometimes you really want to look bold and very kind of provocative. My inner little witch was craving it, and today I made her happy. I hope I made you happy too. Be sure to write in the comments what you think of my look and the life hacks I shared in the video. I'll be waiting for you in the comments. That's all for today. Bye bye.